Hello, I'm TMN, and welcome to today's movie review. Well, this is it. The final review in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and the final review based on anything Middle-earth related. Finally! So in the last film, The Two Towers, it ended with Gollum leading Sam and Frodo to Shelob, the Battle of Helm's Deep had just been won, and Merry and Pippin, along with Treebeard, had just taken over Isengard. And today's film picks up right where the last one left off, and the quest continues to destroy the One Ring of Power. This is only the third film to have ever won 11 Oscars, and currently the only film to win 11 Oscars in every category that it was nominated for, or as they would say, a clean sweep. It currently sits at number 7 on the top 250. So yeah, must be pretty popular. But is Return of the King as good as everyone says it is? Well, yeah, but if I just left you with that, this review would be only 90 seconds long, and you don't want that, do you? Oh, you do? Well, too bad. This is Return of the King.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king.
Zip it, Gandalf! Honestly. Now, normally in these reviews, I start off with performances. However, I don't wish to repeat myself on a certain topic of a character that I've already discussed. And though I don't wish to skip this category altogether, this film doesn't really introduce any new characters necessarily. But seeing as I have already praised performances such as Ian McKellen and Sean Astin in my previous reviews, I feel it would be unnecessary to do it in this one as well. Probably the best new performance in Return of the King is Denethor. It's got a very Shakespearean vibe to it, and it really is enjoyable just to see the performance and how wacky it is sometimes. But yeah, I probably won't spend too much time in the performance category for this film. Denethor is the top of the notch for this one, and everyone else still does a great job, so. Moving on to music. Return of the King. Howard Shore. Where do I begin? The soundtrack for Return of the King is one of the reasons why I am glad that Two Towers exists. I don't know what Howard Shore was doing in between his Oscar for Fellowship of the Ring and his Oscar for Return of the King, but he must have looked at his Two Towers soundtrack and thought, well, this is horrible, I need to make this a lot better. And what do we get? The most epic soundtrack you've ever heard in your life. I don't think I've ever heard a single soundtrack that has had as many chill tracks as Return of the King does. Chill meaning goosebumps. Chill meaning eargasm. But for all of the following tracks which I am about to list off, this is usually my reaction while listening to it. Yeah! Gandalf and Pippin ascend Minas Tirith. Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas arrive with the army of the dead. The shards of Narsil are reforged. Sam carries Frodo. Aragorn's battle speech. The Rohirrim charge. My friends, you bow to no one. And no, none of those are actually the names of the tracks, but if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Return of the King is a soundtrack that I can never get tired of. Sometimes you might see an Oscars nominees for Best Score and think to yourself, well, really anything could win, but I don't really care. But 2003 is one of those rare years where, hands down, it could have been nothing but Return of the King. Congratulations, Howard Shore. Hobbit might have not been that good, but Lord of the Rings, woo! Alright, now let's discuss some of the pros and cons of this movie. Well, apart from two pros, great performances and great music, this movie has tons of yeah moments. And by that I mean moments that make you want to stand up and cheer because what you are witnessing is so epic. The lighting of the beacons. Yeah! Elrond presents Aragorn with Anduril. Yeah! The Rohirrim charge. Yeah! Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli arrive with the army of the dead. Yeah! Éowyn kills the Witch King. Yeah! Sam arrives to fight Shelob. Yay! Sam fights his way up the Tower of Cirith Yeah! Aragorn beheads the mouth of Sauron. Yay! Aragorn's battle speech. Yay! The Black Gate charge. Sam carries Frodo. The ring is destroyed. Yeah, there's a lot of epic scenes in this film. And I'm sure there's a lot I'm not covering. But those are my personal favorites. Also, the battle scenes in this film are just amazing to watch. I can't imagine battle scenes being very easy to film, but considering how many are in this movie, it is amazing. And some of the set designs of this movie are incredible, especially Minas Tirith. Very few titles actually fit the title of epic, but this is definitely one of them. And as I've already said, this series has great costume design and visual and practical effects and makeup and just prosthetics, all that good stuff. The orc, who I like to call Stung by a Bunch of Bees orc, is just the most disgusting yet fascinating makeup design I have ever seen for an orc character. Take that, Azog! And not to mention, this film just really lets Sam's character shine. He has so many great moments in this film that I can't really get into because that would just take another 10 minutes, so we'll move on to the cons. And in my opinion, this film doesn't really have that many cons, but I will discuss one of the things that people do have a problem with, and that is the fact that this film has multiple endings. But to be honest, even as a kid, I never really minded that much. And I'm pretty sure that's not a word, but who cares? It's my review. I care. Oh, shut up. But yeah, for a series this long, and even an individual movie this long, you need the time to wrap up every story that's been told. If The Ring just fell in the fires of Mount Doom and then a narrator was like, well, they all lived happily ever after, the end, that would be really lame. And I know we're not discussing The Hobbit, but that is one of the problems with the third Hobbit film, is they don't really take that much time to wrap up the story at the end of the film. It really ends with the battle being over, Bilbo goes home with his treasure, and that's it. It never really explains how the gold was divided among the people of Dale and whatnot, and who got their share. And unless you get the extended version, it never explains who became the next king of Erebor and what happened at the funeral and blah blah blah. But again, this is Return of the King, so yeah, overall, I don't really mind the multiple endings. Some people might, but, you know, if you've been sitting in a theater chair for 3 hours already, I'm sure you can sit for another 20 minutes to watch how everything turned out. So what are my overall thoughts on the film? Well, as always, it has great performances, awesome music, great set pieces and production design, amazing visual and practical effects, great costume design, great makeup, great battle scenes, fantastic directing by Peter Jackson. This movie really does deserve all the praise that it has ever gotten. It may not be my favorite Lord of the Rings film, but when it comes to a trilogy like this, can you really even pick a favorite? It's one of those rare trilogies where every film is just that good, where it's very difficult to pick a favorite. And even if you do manage to pick a favorite, it is still very hard to deny that the other two films are just as epic. Altogether, I rate The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And don't worry, I will have a new rating system figured out eventually, but probably won't be until next Monday because, you know, I'm too lazy. Well guys, that's about it for today's review. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Also, be sure to hit that little bell icon to be notified whenever I post. Leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts on the film, share this video with your friends and family, and as always, subscribe. I'm TMN. Until next time.